So we're back in the office like we never left with my dear friend Christina Avila.
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming. I know you have a baby.
Thank you for having me. I'm very proud of what you're doing with the podcast, inviting small business owners in the community. Uh, I think it's great. So thank you for having me.
And today we are celebrating episode 11, or lucky number 11. So we met in 2019.
Yeah.
Before COVID.
Yes.
Que guante.
Give it a long time. It feels like we've lived a couple lives
Yes.
in these years.
We've seen it all together.
Yeah.
When I met you, you already had your own business, but you started as working in an insurance company.
Yes, I've been a licensed adjuster since 2012. Also, wow, it's like a whole lifetime. I've gotten old being an adjuster.
Yes. But you told me what you were doing, in my mind, or maybe I was taught or I didn't educate myself that was a man's job. So I was surprised that a woman was doing public adjuster because you go to the roofs, you check leaks. So has it been hard for you that you're a woman?
Oh, being a woman in a man's world is definitely challenging. It has its difficulties. As like you have to prove yourself more. You have to. You can't act, think, talk in it with emotions. You just have to be as stoic as possible. But yeah, it's tough. I've gone through it, and I have gotten when I worked for the insurance companies. I remember one time I called like a client a customer at that time, and she said, "Oh, you're a woman." I said, "Yeah, women can be adjusters too." But yeah, there's still sexism, unfortunately, in the business world,
Even to this day?
even to this day. So I've had one female apprentice compared to 4 male apprentices, and me and her actually still talk because, we understand that we have to stick together,
Right.
being women in a man's world.
Right.
So, unfortunately, women were still working towards being taken seriously.
Unfortunate. It's sad, but we're still in that battle.
Yes.
So recently up north we got hit by a hurricane, and we see that FEMA wasn't helping because supposedly because of the election, but the insurances also were having problems. Like they were telling people to switch, or I don't remember how it was. How does a public adjuster help those poor people that have lost everything? Like, do you help them look for them like a hotel for them, or because I feel so bad for these people, and then now they're coming up that supposedly is because of the election and we're in agreeing with Trump. Does that all affect like all works together, or
A lot of people, unfortunately, like I said, trust FEMA, trust their insurance companies. So, for my experience, when I first go out to those areas after Mother Nature hits them really hard, I wouldn't say it's pointless, but they want to give the insurance company and FEMA an opportunity. So they don't contact me until they've heard crickets from FEMA and the insurance company. Some of these folks still have claims open from Hurricane Ian.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Which was in 2022 or 2023.
Around.
Yeah, sorry, mom break. But yeah, some of them did call me for new damages, even though they had Hurricane Ian damages. Sometimes FEMA tells them if you have an insurance company, you have to call them first. And the insurance company comes out and a lot of the time tells them these damages don't meet their deductible, or sends them a $3,000 check when the whole roof needs to be replaced. It's collapsing on them. And a lot of people don't actually have insurance. They self-insure, or the house is paid off. So again, they don't need insurance. So some people have called me, but they don't have insurance. So I can't help them.
You can't help them.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
So it's always important to always have insurance, even if your house is paid for. Always have even rental insurance too. If you have your house as a rental house.
Yeah, renter's insurance is one of the cheapest ones out there.
And it covers all those things. Just in case you have a bad attendant or you get an argument and they break down your house, you have that insurance too.
Renter's property is for your belongings more than anything. But if you feel like you have $100,000 worth of personal property, sometimes the premium isn't even $100 a month. So it's worth it.
It's worth it.
And also if you paid it off, at least have coverage for hurricane, tornado, fire. A lot of people think, well, this is a waste of money. I know the insurance companies don't act the way they're supposed to or that you would like them to during a claim, but it's better to have somebody that we can file a claim against than not, because at least at some point we fight them and we get money for you. But if you don't have anything, then we can't go after anybody, And then my experience since 2012 to now, these things can happen to anybody. Nobody's exempt. And they never happen at a good time. Usually, everybody that's coming during a fire, really bad leak, hurricane, they're either sick themselves, they live with sick family members, they just lost a job. I just noticed it's never at the best time.
Was there in the best? So recently up north we got hit by a hurricane, and we see that FEMA wasn't helping because supposedly because of the election, but the insurances also were having problems. Like they were telling people to switch, or I don't remember how it was. How does a public adjuster help those poor people that have lost everything? Like, do you help them look for them like a hotel for them, or because I feel so bad for these people, and then now they're coming up that supposedly is because of the election and we're in agreeing with Trump. Does that all affect all works together, or
a lot of people, unfortunately, like I said, trust FEMA, trust their insurance companies. So for my experience, when I first go out to those areas after Mother Nature hits them really hard, I wouldn't say it's pointless, but they want to give the insurance company and FEMA an opportunity. So they don't contact me until they've heard crickets from FEMA and the insurance company. Some of these folks still have claims open from Hurricane Ian.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Which was in 2022 or 2023.
Around.
Yeah, sorry, mom break. But yeah, some of them did call me for new damages, even though they had Hurricane Ian damages. Sometimes FEMA tells them if you have an insurance company, you have to call them first. And the insurance company comes out and a lot of the time tells them these damages don't meet their deductible, or sends them a $3,000 check when the whole roof needs to be replaced. It's collapsing on them. And a lot of people don't actually have insurance. They self-insure, or the house is paid off. So again, they don't need insurance. So some people have called me, but they don't have insurance. So I can't help them.
You can't help them.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
So it's always important to always have insurance, even if your house is paid for. Always have even rental insurance too. If you have your house as a rental house.
Yeah, renter's insurance is one of the cheapest ones out there.
And it covers all those things. Just in case you have a bad attendant or you get an argument and they break down your house, you have that insurance too.
Renter's property is for your belongings more than anything. But if you feel like you have $100,000 worth of personal property, sometimes the premium isn't even $100 a month. So it's worth it.
It's worth it.
And also if you paid it off, at least have coverage for hurricane, tornado, fire. A lot of people think, well, this is a waste of money. I know the insurance companies don't act the way they're supposed to or that you would like them to during a claim, but it's better to have somebody that we can file a claim against than not, because at least at some point we fight them and we get money for you. But if you don't have anything, then we can't go after anybody, And then my experience since 2012 to now, these things can happen to anybody. Nobody's exempt. And they never happen at a good time. Usually, Everybody that's coming during a fire, really bad leak, hurricane, they're either sick themselves, they live with sick family members, they just lost a job. Uh, I just noticed it's never at the best time.
Was there in the bus? Is there like a insurance company that you recommend, or either on do your research?
It's getting the ones that used to have the ones that used to be good are still becoming a lot more complicated. Uh, but I like Universal
Okay.
because they actually haven't placed water caps and they have not done, the preferred vendor contracts.
Okay.
It's they're all expensive, but it's also, when you do have to call upon them, you're not met with caps, you're not met with all these exclusions, you're not met with, okay, I now have to use their contractor to do the work. I don't know these people. Why should I have to use them when I pay? But every day the insurance companies are getting a little bit more complicated because ever since they took out the attorney's fee statute, they're like, okay, whatever, fight us. Because either way, if you hire an attorney and if you get a public adjuster and you need to send it to an attorney, it's coming out of your settlement now. Whereas if I had to refer my client's claim to an attorney, the attorney's fees would get paid directly from the insurance.
That's very important that you said that, because a lot of people confuse that. They think they have to pay everything out of pocket. And a lot of people are scared to use insurance because then their insurance goes, oh, is that true, or?
I don't sell the insurance, but based on my experience as an adjuster, right now, for example, this year, everybody's going to see a premium increase. We had 2 major hurricanes last year. But that caused a lot of wind damage, that caused a lot of flood damage. So everybody's going to see an increase. If you have major damages in your home and you say, oh, I'm not going to call the insurance company, I'll just do it myself, the rates are going to go up. The problem is that all your neighbors are calling in claims.
Okay.
So yours is going to go up anyways. You might as well call in your claim and get your damages fixed, because you're going to see the increase, and you're not going to have seen, and you're going to be out of pocket on damages.
That's actually a good point that you brought up. That's really good that you said that, because I didn't even know that either.
So I am also an advocate for don't file a claim for every single little thing that happens to your home.
Right.
Because once you become a homeowner, you are responsible for maintenance. Your insurance policy is not for maintenance. It's for sudden and accidental damages. So I do get a lot of calls for like little things, and I'll tell them, and I'm honest, first of all, it's not a good claim. Now I'm not going to get paid and you're not going to see money. So it's a loss for everybody. Call me if you have really big plumbing losses, a hurricane, a fire, etc. There's certain claims that I will tell you honestly are worth filing. If it's not worth filing, I'll also tell you, because like you said, price increases. You're at risk of getting kicked out, which nobody can ever predict any of these things. It's quite a very correct question. I never know. I don't work in that, the department of insurance company. And also, you know, You also don't want to be that known as that perpetual claim filer, and the insurance. The insurance companies like do have a blacklist of public adjusters, of water mitigation companies, of homeowners. Are like, it actually stays in a record.
Right. What I'm mostly admire about you, what I love about you, that you are your only company. Like you're the only staff in your company. So one time I'll be calling her to ask her questions. Like, wait, I'll call her back because I'm right now on the roof. Wait, I'm in the attic. I'm under the sink. So I admire that from you because a woman, supposedly we can't do those things because we're not handy for those kind of stuff. So I admire that you do your own stuff. You do. I've seen it myself. You talk to attorneys yourself. You talk to the clients. I've called you before. You're in the attic. You're in the roof. You do have some people that do help you out because there's some stuff that you can't do. But I really really love that you do all the stuff yourself.
It's difficult, but it's a conscious choice I've made.
Yeah, the same thing as me.
That I'm saving a lot of money, not necessary. I don't need an office. It looks good because you have your storefront, whatever. We live in Miami. Everything's about looks. Everything's about the aesthetics. But I've been in Europe traveling and signing up new claims, handling claims, talking to clients, talking to the attorneys. And at the end of the day, you just want a public adjuster that gets things done.
Right.
I don't think most people care about your office front, at least in my industry. It's
in my world, that's how I see it, but I do understand that everything is aesthetics in my world. Yeah, beauty industry.
My industry has gone through a lot of changes in the last couple of years. And the last thing I want is to hire people and then not have the money to pay them, because every day since I get some commission base, every day is getting a little bit harder it's taking a lot longer to get paid, because when I settle a person's claim, their mortgage company gets put on that check. So it's not like I sign, the client signs, we deposit check, everybody gets paid. If there's a mortgage company on the check, we have to send it to the bank, and that's the most important signature. I mean, I don't think a lot of people understand you're not the owner of your home. You don't own your home until you pay off the bank. So if I get you $100,000 on a claim, guess what? Your mortgage company is gonna know about it, and they want to know if you're doing the repairs, etc. So until they endorse, you don't get paid, so I don't get paid.
So it's like step by step.
Yes, and a lot of people become actually very surprised that like the mortgage company can do this. Yes, technically they're the owner.
So you have to wait until the mortgage company sends you the check.
Sends the client. The mortgage company will endorse and send it back to the client. The client will deposit it, and then
from that. So you have to be calling everybody.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
This year actually was my 7th year anniversary of being a business owner. I really almost can't believe it. It's still kind of like pinch me. It's a dream. It's like I actually did it. But yeah, every day I just pray I can continue to do it, because as a business owner, you're praying every day that this continues to work.
Yes.
Last year I had a baby.
So we were gonna go there.
But so I didn't stop working. I haven't stopped working. I was in the hospital and I was working. I shouldn't have. I had high blood pressure. It was an emergency delivery. And I'm like, why? I was texting a client. I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, I'm having a medical emergency, but you're just so used to hustling and grinding that you kind of forget.
And you have a passion for it too.
I really like helping people because I feel that I feel like people are just misguided when it comes to home ownership and the real cost behind it, the real responsibilities behind it. I read a statistic that the average American is 1 to 2 paychecks away from poverty. So you're basically entrusting a public adjuster to handle one of the biggest financial transactions in your life.
Right.
I can't, I would sooner just turn in my license than fail a person, and if I don't handle this correctly, and then it ends up with an attorney and the people you're entrusting to handle your claim, if one of us fails, you can actually end up owing the insurance company their attorney's fees.
Oh.
So very about my fee. Yeah. Like you sign a contract and I'm contingency basis, meaning I get paid when you get paid. But the attorneys, if they don't do a good job, if I refer you to a bad attorney, they drop the ball, you can end up owing Citizens Universal, Sly, whoever, their attorney's fees. It has happened. People have called me, and then at that point, obviously, there's nothing I can do. But so I take it very seriously, and legitimately, people don't have the money to make these repairs. Yeah. So I take it very serious to the point where I have stressed myself out. But it's okay. It's what I signed up for.
So you just mentioned you had a baby.
Yes.
Do you want to talk how we found out you were pregnant?
Yeah, it was just the shock of the century for me. It was November 15th, 2023. No, 17th. November 17th. I took the pregnancy test and here. And it was positive, and I'm like, no, this has to be wrong. And then I call you, and my voice was shaking, which my voice never shakes. And I'm like, I got nervous. I'm like, are you here? And you're like, yeah, I'm like a minute away. I'm like, this pregnancy test positive. And you were like, what? I'm like, yeah, we need to go buy more. This has to be wrong. And then I guess you got so nervous. I was in shock, so I couldn't even talk. We went to the CVS
by my house.
It's 15 minutes up the road when there's literally one of
we were go walking. I was like, why am I going to the CVS? And you're like, I don't know. So she got the pregnancy test. She took it here in the office. Yeah, everybody takes pregnancy tests here. I don't know why. It's just that is a safe place. We don't judge. Yeah. And it came out positive. We were shaking. We were crying. We were nervous. I was nervous. She was shaking. It was a whole mix of emotion that day. Yeah. Until she went to the doctor, you did her ultrasound, your blood work is positive. So now she's expecting a baby, a beautiful, beautiful baby. And then you were feeling like a little bit bad during like your 6 months, 7 months?
Yeah, I was easily I had been feeling bad like a month and a half. I was entering the 3rd trimester, and I just assumed, wow, this is just feel really bad. But it turns out I was high risk anyway. So that day I went to the regular OBGYN for a checkup. My blood pressure was super high.
Your hands were swollen, your feet were swollen.
Yeah, to the point I actually had lost sensation in my hands about a month prior. So I had called the doctor, told them I wasn't feeling right. They told me that's just pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 days before my 28th week of pregnancy, I ended up in the ER. I got sent straight away from the high-risk doctor to the ER. My blood pressure was like 190 over, I don't even know what. I mean, it was extremely high. And the risk so it was severe preeclampsia.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of women get it closer to the end of their pregnancy.
What's your first pregnancy?
Yeah. It's actually really scary. I don't think they educate women enough on preeclampsia.
No.
Because you can end up having a seizure, meaning the baby loses oxygen. It life or death for both the baby and mom. So I went, they tried to bring my blood pressure down, and it didn't work. And on May 11th, I delivered Valentina.
How many weeks she was?
20, just 1 day shy of 29 weeks. So technically 28 weeks.
28 weeks. And you were in the hospital for like a week?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. And she was in the hospital?
So she was in the NICU 76 days. Yeah.
How did you feel during that time?
I cried every day. Because for me, she wasn't good until she was good.
Mm-hmm.
And like, she's so little. She was born with 2 pounds. And then she had a collapsed lung. And her like the lung. And sorry. So it was just, I was still very sick with preeclampsia. Like it didn't just go away. I was still swollen. I was 210 pounds of just sweating because I didn't really even gain that much weight. during the pregnancy. And then I had just had the C-section too. Like,
Yeah.
first of all, I was still supposed to be pregnant too. So there was a huge confusion
In your mind.
in my mind. And when I went to go see her at the NICU, it's like such an impressionable place. And then, she's like so little.
She was.
Like you could carry her in one hand. Tubes everywhere, like IVs. And then, I didn't get to carry her until like a week later after she was born. It was just like the tiniest, like I I felt the weight of the IVs and all the machinery more than her. So I was like, I cried every day. Like just couldn't believe it. Like it
And
was
you probably felt guilty, like, oh, this is because I didn't take care of myself, and it wasn't like that. Because you're like the healthiest person I've ever met in my life. Like you're always taking your vitamins, you do your IVs, you do your lymphatic drainage, you do all this stuff. So that made you feel. I remember because we will talk about it, like it has nothing to do with you. Like you felt guilty that she was there. It's just that doctors don't tell us,
yeah.
high risk. This is what you should do. You should not do. Um,
I had actually done the day I got sent to the ER, I had actually walked for an hour at the gym. I worked out the entire pregnancy. Sure, I gave into some cravings, but I mean, what pregnant woman doesn't do it? Um, and so it was a very long 76 days. Um, I still worked because, it was a good way to just keep things going and, get my mind off things. But I basically lived at the hospital 76 days.
and they gave you like certain times to go. You couldn't be there all day.
No, you can be there all day, but 6 to 7 a.m. and 6 to 7 p.m. it's a shift change. So those times they don't allow you to be in there. But yeah, I was there every day, as much as possible. And I felt that even though it's one of those moments in life where you feel helpless.
Right.
And because us modern women being business owners, boss babes, whatever, we feel like we have a lot of control over things. We want to control everything.
Right.
But it was one of those moments in life where you don't have control over anything. Like you just got to leave it up to the nurses, the doctors, and God, most importantly. All I could do was be present, give her all my love and care, and advocate for her, ask questions. So it was a very big lesson on surrendering to just what you're living through at the moment. And to this day, the biggest thing I've learned in the last year is that I don't think there's a lot of things money can't buy, and that it's okay sometimes to slow down in running your business, to enjoy life and enjoy having a baby, being a mom, taking really good care of your health, even more so, because none of your business doesn't work. You can't enjoy your family. You can't do anything if your health is jeopardized. So I've burned out before, but now I can't afford to burn out. Right. So if that means slowing down a little bit, then it is what it is.
And how's Valentina doing now?
She's 10 months old. She's about to start walking. She's about to start talking. She's these NICU babies, I think, are little warriors. And you see them, they're all like, little and hooked up to a bunch of machines, but once they make it out of it, they're tough. They're tough. Oh, you hear me? Yeah, I think she's gonna be a little firecracker.
And now you're getting ready to celebrate her year.
Her first birthday is the same day as Mother's Day. So I feel like that's the universe's way of having everything, what's it called, come full circle. Because last year Mother's Day was May 12th. She was born May 11th, and everybody was saying Happy Mother's Day. But I mean, I was crying. I was in the hospital. I was in pain. Like I didn't really feel very celebratory. And this year I am gonna celebrate. And always say babies don't remember their first birthday. I don't care. I'm gonna remember it. I'm gonna remember it.
Didn't even have a baby shower, so I should to go out, do a big party.
Yeah, I also think I learned this year too, and it's something I want to bring awareness to. Social media is not real life. People pick and choose snippets of their life that they want to share with you on social media. And tying it in with business ownership. Nobody's ever posting their things. Nobody's ever posting when it's been a bad week, a bad month. They're broke. They're hoping they get 10 new clients to be able to pay their bills. In my case, commission, when I'm waiting for commissions to come in. Nobody's ever talking about that. No, they're just talking about that they made it.
They're traveling a new car.
Traveling in cars. Yeah. There's a, most of the time it's not glamorous. And you got to be careful out there. People telling you that they made it and maybe they're not really where they say they are.
Right.
So just stay focused on what you're doing. Don't compare your journey to anybody else's. Half the time it's just smoky mirrors.
Yeah.
I've learned that you can have it all, just not at once. Because at any given time, you can only give one thing your 100%. Your kids, your business, yourself. So it's a balancing act. And I think as a new mom, I started realizing how cruel the business world is to new moms, because you have to bounce back right away. Why?
Right.
Why? Like, my baby's only gonna be a baby or a toddler for so little, and then she's gonna grow up and live her own life.
Right.
I had the rest of my life to hustle and grind and make money. So that's the beauty of your own business. You can slow down if you need to. Yes, you're going to make less money, but you're living your own life. You're living a richer life in something else. So it was just shocking to me to see that, like, everything's all money, and
I don't.
just put her in the daycare so you can go work. Why? I have the flexibility to take care of her. If I ever need to, the daycare is there. But for now, she's with me,
Right.
and I can still get everything done. I like seeing her, grow. But yeah, I'm gonna celebrate Mother's Day and her first birthday. Not the biggest thing, but celebrate myself too, because it's like that first year is gonna be hard. It's hard.
It was a hard year for you.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for being here with us here, and we're gonna also be posting when we have the videos together. Her Instagram. You do have an Instagram.
Yes.
Where you put your phone number, where she can be reached. Highly recommend her. I know her for years, and she is always on top of everything. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.